they were, Jaden, Will Smith's son, was doing a video. I mean, he was shooting a movie for Karate Kid, and he moved his whole family over to China for 3 months while they shot the movie. And Will Smith was basically, I think Jaden was probably 10 or 11 at the time, and he was showing him Will Smith's perspective on them shooting the movie was he teaching Jaden how to make money, how to hustle or hunt, as you know, what we call it. He teaching Jaden how to go hard and create for himself. That's why
riches in the room, riches in the room, riches in the room, riches in the room, riches in the room.
What's good with y'all, man? It's Terrio Throne back with a video, and I'm about to do a basically I'm gonna just like kind of break down. Basically, I'm gonna break down like the concept behind You Hunt, You Feed, which is a project that I dropped August 4th. It's been out for almost 2 months now. Excuse me, I'm a little tired. We just finished football practice, but like I said, I'm gonna break down You Hunt, You Feed from the top to the bottom, why I named it You Hunt, You Feed. Yeah, so basically the concept behind You Hunt, You Feed was, initially I was gonna name it Hunting Season, but I wanted to be a little more creative. I wanted to name it something that would automatically let you know what I'm about. And also, hunt comes from Huntsville, so a way to market and tie the brands, tie Terrio Throne with Hunting Season, the brand. I read a book called The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, and it talks about, you know, finding a word, just kind of tying everything to that word, to where the brand is like, you know, it starts. Okay, let's relate it to a tree. If Hunting Season was the tree, Terrio Throne would be a character under Hunting Season. Kevin Harris would be a character within Hunting Season. The Huntsville brand would be a character within Hunting Season. And whatever other brands that, you know, we come up with would be characters, or any other influencers that we partner with will be characters under Hunting Season. We took the word hunt, which is inside of Huntsville, and we're throwing that word in people's heads. So when we out hustling, we call it hunt. We building a brand, so that's where the hunt comes from. I took the word hunt and I was like, okay, what can I tie in with it without, you know, instead of saying hunting season. Normally I would hear the phrase, you don't hunt, you don't eat. But I wanted to change that phrase into something that's like, that's straight positive, you know what I mean? So that's why I named it You Hunt, You Feed. And you hunt, like you hustle, and then you feed, you spread your wealth, you spread your fruit, you know what I'm saying? You feed your family. So that's why I named it You Hunt, You Feed. Because you don't hunt to go and get cars and houses and jewelry. Like, that ain't the only reason you hunt. The most important reason to why you hunt is to, you know, feed your family, feed yourself, build an empire to where you create jobs and things of that nature. So that's why I named it You Hunt, You Feed. The first song that comes on is it's an intro, and it's an interview with Will Smith and his wife and all his kids doing an interview with Oprah. And I took a clip out of the interview and I named it How to Hunt. This is it right here.
One of our major issues was, in my mind, I was teaching my son to hunt. You know, that's what we're doing right now. When he's making this movie, I'm teaching him how to hunt.
And I realized because of that, I learned why in African, in African tribes, why men would come to the village and remove their sons to initiate.
Okay, so that's the interview, and I named it How to Hunt. That's the, I'll put the stuff, but it's called How to Hunt. And basically, the reason I chose that is because a lot of times when I'm coming up with concepts to projects, I want it to be something that my son can learn from. And I know if my son can learn from it, everybody else can learn from it. So I named it How to Hunt. Will Smith was talking about, Jaden, Will Smith's son, was doing a video. I mean, he was shooting a movie for Karate Kid, and he moved his whole family over to China for 3 months while they shot the movie. And Will Smith was basically, I think Jaden was probably 10 or 11 at the time, and he was showing him Will Smith's perspective on them shooting the movie was he teaching Jaden how to make money, how to hustle or hunt, as you know, what we call it. He teaching Jaden how to go hard and create for himself. That's why, you know, that was Will Smith's perspective. Jada Smith, his mom's perspective was something different. She was just, you know, she probably just thinking, you know, okay, my son is in a movie. But after a while, her and Will was bumping heads on the set. You know, they had to find a common ground. He had to kind of, you know, articulate what he was doing, and she had to articulate what she was doing. Yeah, she didn't see the same perspective that she didn't have the same perspective that Will Smith had at the time. That's what the interview is about. I'll play it one more time for y'all so y'all can kind of, you know, grasp it.
Major issues was, in my mind, I was teaching my son to hunt. You know, that's what we're doing right now. When he's making this movie, I'm teaching him how to hunt.
And I realized because of that, I learned why in African tribes, why men would come to the village and remove their sons to initiate.
How to hunt. That's how it comes on. Then we go to the next song. I think I'm gonna chop this video up into like, all right, the next song is called Richest in the Room. I came up with this is probably more than 21 days. I don't know why, but I just started listening to affirmations, like going to sleep, listening to like positive affirmations, abundant affirmations, wealthy affirmations, rich affirmations, just affirmations in general. I would go to sleep with my AirPods in my ear. I go to sleep to that, and I'll like go through the song and kind of like probably chop up maybe the first verse or the hook in the first verse so y'all can kind of like, y'all can listen to, you know, what was coming, because I didn't write any of this song, so it was straight off of, you know, me feeding my mind for 30 days and what came to mind when I came up with it. So here.
Shoulders, I ain't had no silver spoon, but I'm on my way to be the richest in the room. I was that young nigga sliding to that little Lucy Zoom. Nothing against them, but I knew I wasn't pushing no broom. Richest in the room, 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 richest in the room. Ain't nobody around here talking.
Okay, so that's the hook. Basically, that's how it go. And I said, brushing shoulders, I ain't had no silver spoon. And I'm basically saying, like, I'm walking in certain rooms where people are already kind of like made individuals, and I wouldn't necessarily, some of them are made, some of them are self-made, they did all the work on their own, and then there's some that just, you know, kind of just get things handed down to them. And I ain't never had nobody hand me nothing, like nothing. Everything I had to work for it. So that's what I mean by brushing shoulders, like brushing shoulders with people that they get handouts, they get that, and it's no offense, it's just that's my truth, you know what I'm saying? That's my story. Ain't nobody gave me nothing. Everything I got, I had to work for it. So that's what I mean by brushing shoulders. I ain't had no silver spoon, but I'm on my way to be the richest in the room. I was that young dude sliding to that little Boosie Zoom, 16, first car, red Monte Carlo. I'm listening to that Undeniable Talent and stuff like that, you know, I ain't really listen to Boosie, but it was certain songs that I would listen to. And then, you know, that Zoom, that was one of the songs I used to listen to as a young dude. And when I say, you know, I knew I wasn't gonna be pushing a broom, it's like, you know, I always knew it was gonna be something better for me. I wasn't gonna, like, you know, nothing wrong with being a janitor. I've cleaned buildings before I done that, but I'm speaking to, like, that's not something I'm gonna be doing my whole life. Like, I know for a fact, like, I know I'm gonna do something, you know, big, and, you know, I'm gonna have a purpose. I'm gonna fulfill that. So that's where that came from.
Look, I'ma be the man, mark my words. Selling hunts, bill keys off the curb. I was just sleeping on the floor. Took my seeds and made them grow. Cut back on material shit so I could invest. I stopped smoking weed, nigga, just to go invest. Had to find another way to go.
Okay, so I said, I'm gonna be the richest, mark my words, selling Huntsville tees off the curb. Literally, it's video on here showing us, you know, selling these shirts, set up on the street, selling them. I mean, I done sold plenty shirts, you know, just out of my trunk, like pull up, meet up somebody, they buy shirts, you know what I'm saying? Like, we done that. So that's what I mean by selling Huntsville tees off the curb. I was just sleeping on the floor. At the time when I made this, I was at my sister's house, sleeping on an air mattress in my niece's room because, you know, due to other circumstances and me trying to help people out, you know, kind of put me in that predicament. But I don't blame nobody for myself because it made me go harder. So that's what I mean by I was just sleeping on the floor. Took my seeds and made them grow. Cut back on material things so I could invest. I stopped smoking weed so I can invest. There was a point in time where I was spending like $300 a week on weed, and cut back on material things. I used to have new shoes. I go spend $200-300 on an outfit just to go out for the weekend, in the club buying bottles, doing all of that. And then I had to, like, once I started switching my train of thought, it was like, all that money you spending on this and this, man, put that money into your vision, put that money into what you want to accomplish. So I had to break myself from smoking weed. I had to break myself from, you know, basically I had to go back to like penny pinch just so that I could invest. All of this stuff, all this equipment I got. I bought all these speakers, this laptop, you know, this futon, you know, just things that I needed in order for me to work, my microphone, everything. I started taking that money and putting it back in, whether that was buying beats, shooting video, getting shirts, you know what I mean? Anything that got to do with what I'm trying to push out. I took that money that I was spending on weed, alcohol, clothes, and stuff like that, and started pouring it into, like, you know, that.
Oh, and cope with this stress, limited up.
Oh yeah, I said had to find another way to cope with the stress. You know, I used to smoke weed to, you know, basically not stress, not like escape reality. So what I did to replace smoking weed, I started working out. I started doing meditation. I started doing, what else was I doing? I was spending more time with my son. And when I say spending more time with my son, actually being in the moment with him, like no phone, you know what I'm saying? Just really like being there, witnessing him in the moment, not thinking about nothing else.
Opportunities just turned me to the best. I don't hit the road for less than 10K, can't accept nothing less. I can only be true to myself, it's tatted on my chest. Dealing with this type of weight can only resort to success. You gotta keep going or you gon'
I said, I can only accept 10K, can't accept nothing less. That's me speaking to what I want. You know, when I get, of course, I'm going to take less. If it's 75 or 55, you know, we can work something out. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming to pick that up. Like, we coming to get that. So, but it was just speaking to, like, you know, eventually I want 10 bands. Like, that's what I want. 10K, can't accept nothing less. I can only be true to myself. It's tatted on my chest. Facts. Dealing with this type of weight can only resort to success. You gotta keep going or you gonna crumble with the rest. You know, when you got so much pressure on you, you can either fold or you gonna turn into a diamond. I'm gonna always turn into a diamond. I know that. Like, I know you know, it ain't no such thing as fold in my book. You can figure it out and keep going.
crumble with the rest. I know I'm a young nigga, but I sound just like a vet. Before I leave this bitch, my kids gon' have a check. Riches in the...
I said before I leave, which is, you know, before I leave this place, my kids, my son's son, whatever else I have, I just feel like that's what I'm doing it for. That's what I'm doing it for. So I feel like that's my goal, like, is to make sure that they're financially free, set up, not just Marquez, but his kids, whatever, you know what I'm saying? His kids are set up. They are set up to thrive, you know what I mean? That way they ain't got to go and do the things that we doing, which would be my grandkids. So we gonna skip the hook and we gonna go to the second verse.
Look, selling leaking by my front door while rats in my kitchen. Me and Tay was in Magnolia plotting on the mission. Me and Jock was smoking dope while plotting in the kitchen.
Ceiling leaking by my front door while rats in my kitchen. Me and Tay was in Magnolia plotting on the mission. That's, my ceiling was literally leaking. Like, you can go to Twitter, Instagram, and type in my homeboy name, Stash by Tay, and he could tell you we was putting buckets by my front door. Like, ceiling was leaking. It was one time we kept hearing, we staying in the hood now, you know. The apartment up under us was like, I don't know if they moved out, but basically they didn't even come, they had new management switched over, they didn't come clean that apartment out. It was just nasty. So we was hearing stuff in the kitchen, and we finally realized that something was eating the bread. Like they were eating through the plastic and eating the bread in the bag. And we was like, hold on, this not something. So we was like, bro, it's something in here eating this stuff. We finally found out that rats was in the kitchen eating our bread because they were coming from the apartment below us. So we had to like thoroughly clean, go and let them know, look, y'all gotta fix this. We got rats. Like, this is real life stuff. You know what I mean?
Me and Street turned the city up, but they won't admit it. Kevin had them bumping, built like this while he was in prison. Hating ass nigga, get some money and get out your feeling.
Yeah, me and Street is a videographer. I met Street when I was at Calhoun. We was taking a music engineering class together. He had business cards, and he was like, I shoot videos, or blah, you know what I'm saying? I make beats. So I reached out to him, and he had only shot one video at the time. So I was like, well, look, bro, we got a thing going on, and we want to get things popping. And basically, like, if y'all don't remember, it was like when Chicago jumped out there and they was doing videos heavy. Like, that was like me and Street at the time. Like, I was introducing Street to different people that I knew that rap, that wanted to pursue music. And there were no, like, I'm watching the scene while I'm in the Army. There was nobody shooting videos like Street, or, you know, just even thinking about taking this music thing serious here. So that's what I'm speaking to. Like, me and Street turned the city up, but they won't admit it. I don't know. They may have, I don't know. I'm not in this for credit. I'm just speaking to some, you know, something real. And I said Kevin was bumping Built Like This while he was in prison. Kevin is my business partner in hunting season. I sent him my first mixtape, and it was called Built Like This. And I sent it to him. He was in prison at the time. I sent him some stickers, and I sent him the tape. And, you know, he was telling me, like, some of his friends, there was certain songs on there. He would tell me, like, when we would write, you know, certain people like this song. He liked this song. So that's what I'm speaking to on that.
City to city, got these women choosing. All I did was smile and look, baby, say that I seduced her. Slide in my pocket. We came a long way from sitting in the trap trying to catch a.
I say we came a long way from sitting in the trap trying to catch a play. I was probably the worst weed man. I'm pretty sure I was better than some of them, but because I know some that think they doing what they doing, but they still hustling backwards. Like, when I say we sit in the trap all day trying to make a play, we would be sitting in Magnolia smoking weed, and every time we would catch, you know, anytime we would catch a play is a sale. Every time we would catch a sale, we literally sitting in there till somebody call us and say, hey man, let me get this. But that's 2 songs off You Hunt, You Feed. I'll probably finish this up, do like a part 2 and a part 3, just breaking it down, why I did it, how I did it. That's the intro, How to Hunt. Second song is Richest in the Room. You can go stream that on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, Deezer, YouTube, SoundCloud. It's everywhere. I'll put the link in the description, man. Don't forget, you the greatest thing that ever happened to this earth. You a genius, and you a rich one.
Richest in the room, richest in the room, richest in the room, richest in the room, richest in the room.